They told us war was about borders, ideology, defense. But I've been to 7 war zones in my lifetime, and I can say this much, none of that explains what we saw. I served in the US Army for over 2 decades. I've bled in deserts, frozen in mountains, and watched too many of my brothers never make it home. But this, what I'm about to tell you, was never in any field manual. It wasn't about winning or losing. It was about something that should have stayed buried. We were deployed on a classified recon mission somewhere in Central Asia. Coordinates redacted. The objective: investigate a decommissioned Soviet facility deep in the mountains, cold, forgotten, inaccessible. Intelligence hinted at unusual energy readings, but no one briefed us on what that meant. Just another ghost site, we thought. The compound was buried beneath layers of ice and concrete. No power, no guards, no signs of life. Until we found the door. It was a thick iron hatch set into the stone. No hinges. No visible lock. Just there. As if welded into the mountain itself. What made it worse was the cold. It wasn't just temperature. It felt like standing next to a breathing freezer. One of my guys touched it and recoiled like he'd been burned. I gave the order, do not open it. But later that night, it opened on its own. No sound. No force. It was just open. And something was waiting on the other side. No one touched the door. That's the part that still messes with my head. It was sealed tight just hours earlier. No creaks, no movement, and then, sometime past midnight, it was wide open. Just standing there like it had been that way for years. The hallway beyond was pitch black. No ambient light. It swallowed our flashlights like fog. Private Moreno, my youngest guy, suggested it was some kind of airlock, but that didn't explain the smell. It hit us all at once. Not rot. Not chemicals. It was something older. Like wet soil and burning hair. Ancient and wrong. We posted 2 men at the entrance and proceeded in teams. 5 of us moved ahead, weapons drawn. Every footstep echoed as if the hallway were amplifying sound, warping it. After 30 meters, we came to a circular chamber, walls covered in symbols. Not Cyrillic. Not Arabic. Nothing we could translate. Just jagged carvings that made our eyes ache the longer we looked at them. Then our radios died. Just gone. Dead static. No signal. No battery drain. Just nothing. I ordered everyone to fall back, regroup, and call in command. That was when Thompson, our rear man, screamed. It wasn't just fear. It was pure panic. Like something tore the sound out of his lungs. We turned. And he was gone. No body. No blood. No struggle. Just the rifle he dropped, still warm, lying on the concrete. Moreno ran to grab it. I stopped him, thank God I did. Because the rifle wasn't just warm. It was melting. Not like fire. Like ice liquefying. Like something reversed time on the metal. I watched it collapse into black sludge, right in front of us. We backed out fast. No one said a word. And as we exited, the door, still open just a second earlier, slammed shut behind us. No wind. No mechanism. It shut like it was alive. And I swear to you, we heard breathing on the other side. We ran. No tactical retreat, no formation, just raw, Animal panic. I'd been through ambushes, airstrikes, insurgent traps, but nothing had ever triggered that kind of fear in me. It was like something inside my bones was screaming, "Get out." Back at the surface, our two guards were pale as snow. "What the hell happened down there?" one of them stammered. I didn't answer. I couldn't. I was staring at the door. It wasn't sealed anymore. It was gone. Not open. Not broken. Just no longer there. Like the mountain had swallowed it whole. I radioed command. Still dead. Our long-range SATCOM didn't work either. No GPS, no signal, nothing. Every device in our packs might as well have been bricks. We made camp at the edge of the ravine, posted watches, loaded weapons. Standard procedure. But nothing about that night was standard. I couldn't sleep. None of us could. The wind had stopped. Total silence. Then, at 2:14 a.m., Moreno started whispering. At first, I thought he was praying. But the words weren't in English. Hell, they weren't in any language. Just wet, clicking syllables that made my skin crawl. Private. I shook him hard. Moreno, snapped the hell out of it. His eyes snapped open, but they were rolled all the way back. Pure white. He started convulsing. We tried to hold him down. That's when his skin started to blister. Like something inside him was burning its way out. It lasted less than 20 seconds. Then it stopped. No pulse. No breath. Just stillness. Then he exhaled. A long, rattling breath that wasn't his. And when he opened his eyes again, they were black. Not bloodshot. Not dilated. Black. Like glass. He stared at me. Smiled. And said, "You opened the wrong door, Colonel." I emptied half a magazine into his chest before he hit the ground. But that wasn't the end. Because hours later, when we tried to move out, we realized something horrifying. We weren't in the same valley anymore. We packed our gear at first light. Or what we thought was light. The sky was wrong. Gray, but not cloudy. No sun. No shadows. Just a flat, pale hue stretching endlessly. The terrain had shifted too. The rocks were sharper. The snow had a faint red tint. And the trees, if you could call them that, were shaped like bones. Sergeant Holt, our navigator, pulled out his compass. It spun in place. The GPS still blinked blankly. Maps. Useless. Even the mountain silhouette had changed. The ridgelines were curved now, unnaturally smooth, like someone had melted them in a dream and forgot to finish sculpting. "We need to head back to LZ Echo," I said. But we all knew LZ Echo wasn't here anymore. Wherever here was. That's when we started hearing it again. The breathing. At first, faint. A breeze, maybe. But it had a rhythm. Inhale. Exhale. Wet. Slow. And then the voices started. They didn't come from one direction. They were all around us. Some were high-pitched, like children whispering underwater. Others were deep and guttural, echoing with ancient hate. But the worst part? They were using our voices. "Colonel," one of them hissed behind me in my own voice. Holt fired blindly. His bullet disappeared into the fog. Then we heard it. Metal scraping rock. Something was crawling toward us. Not fast. Just steady. Confident. I counted 6 rifles raised, fingers trembling. We saw its outline first. Long, angular. Like a human stretched too far. Its joints bent the wrong way. Its face, or what passed for one, was a smear of eyes and teeth, twitching like it didn't belong in this dimension. And in its hand, Thompson's dog tags. We ran. Again. But not back toward base. There was no base. We were just trying to move. To survive. To outrun the wrongness. That was when Monroe tripped. He begged us not to stop. So I didn't. Because I saw it was chasing us. And I knew stopping meant it would wear his skin next. We kept running until our legs gave out. The air had thickened. Breathing felt like drowning in smoke, though there was no fire. Just that sour metal taste in the back of our throats. Blood and ozone. There were only 3 of us left now, me, Holt, and Davis. We found what looked like a cave entrance, jagged and half collapsed, and we squeezed inside. We didn't speak. We didn't cry. We were past fear now. Past reason. Outside, we could hear it dragging Monroe away. We didn't look. Inside the cave, something pulsed faintly in the stone, soft red glows, beating like veins beneath the surface. Holt said it reminded him of the MRI scan of his wife's brain tumor. Davis said nothing. He was staring into the dark like he could see something we couldn't. He finally whispered, "They're not following us." I almost breathed a sigh of relief until he added, "Because they're already here." A shape moved behind him. Fast. Wrong. Its arms weren't arms. Just clusters of fingers that wrapped around his head before we could react. I heard one pop. Then Davis was lifted off the ground, silent, limbs twitching. Holt screamed. I opened fire, point blank. Muzzle flashes lit up nothing, no walls, no creature, no Davis. Just Holt. Kneeling. Staring. I grabbed him by the collar and shook him hard. "We're getting out of here. You hear me?" He didn't answer. He was smiling. That same, black-eyed, hollow smile I saw in Moreno. And then he whispered, "You brought them through, Colonel. You opened the door. You let them in." I aimed my sidearm at his head. But I couldn't do it. He wasn't Holt anymore, but he wasn't attacking either. Just sitting. Grinning. Like he'd finally found peace in the chaos. So I left him there. I walked out into the open, hands trembling, heart hammering. And what I saw wasn't Earth anymore. The sky had changed. Gone was the dull gray. Now it was black, not night, not clouds. Just void. Empty and endless. Stars hung in it like dead eyes, unmoving, unblinking. And the ground beneath me wasn't dirt anymore. It felt like skin. Warm. Pulsing. I walked. No direction. No destination. Just forward, because backward wasn't an option. That's when I found the bodies. Hundreds of them. Wearing uniforms from every era: World War II, Vietnam, Korea, Iraq. Soldiers from every nation. American, Russian, British, German, Japanese. All frozen mid-scream. Some half merged into the terrain. Others curled up like infants. All of them had the same expression. Recognition. They'd seen it too. Whatever it was. And none of them made it home. That's when I heard the voice again. My voice. Only deeper. Older. Worn out from centuries of screaming. "Welcome back, Colonel," it said. I turned and saw myself standing there. But not me. A twisted, withered version. Black eyes. Burned skin. Bones showing through stretched flesh. A grotesque echo. I warned you. We all did. But you had to go looking. Had to open it. "What is this?" I asked. "Where the hell am I?" It smiled. Not hell. Not heaven. Just the other side of the war. I didn't understand. I still don't. But the ground began to shift, rising like a wave beneath me. And the stars blinked one by one like something massive was moving behind them. Then came the voice. Not mine. Not human. Something vast. Cold. Ancient. "You are the doorway," it said. And I knew then this wasn't about tactics or enemies or peace. This wasn't a war of nations. It was a harvest. Every war, every battlefield, it fed them. Opened slits between our world and theirs. The rage, the blood, the fear, all of it was currency. And I'd been paying the toll my whole life. I don't remember how I got out. I woke up in a hospital in Germany, months later. They said my unit was wiped out by a landslide. No records. No survivors. No answers. But I still hear it sometimes. In the static. In the silence between breaths. The breathing. Waiting. Because once you open the door, you never really close it.